The Pascagoula alien abduction, a compelling encounter. This is the extraordinary story of Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, two fishermen who experienced what many believe to be one of the most compelling alien abduction cases in history. Their encounter on the evening of October 11, 1973, would not only shock them but captivate the world and fuel decades of speculation about extraterrestrial life. Charles Hickson, 42, and Calvin Parker, 19, were co-workers at a shipyard and had decided to spend their evening fishing along the Pascagoula River in Mississippi. It was a calm, quiet night, and the two men were enjoying the peaceful setting, casting their lines off an old pier near an abandoned shipyard. Suddenly, their serene evening took a dramatic turn. At around 9 p.m., they noticed a strange, glowing blue light hovering in the sky. The light was moving closer, and both men froze as they saw a large, oval-shaped craft descend silently and hover just a few feet above the ground about 30 yards away. The craft was unlike anything they had ever seen, metallic, smooth, and emanating an otherworldly glow. Before they could react, a hatch opened, and three beings floated out of the craft. The creatures were humanoid but completely alien in appearance. They had gray, wrinkled skin, no visible eyes, and slits for mouths. Their heads were conical, and instead of hands, they had what looked like lobster-like claws. The beings moved in a robotic, gliding manner, almost as if they were weightless. Hickson later described feeling paralyzed by fear, while Parker claimed he had completely blacked out from shock. The beings approached the men, and without any physical contact, Hickson and Parker found themselves being levitated and transported into the craft. Inside, the environment was sterile and glowing with bright light. Hickson described the interior as futuristic, metallic walls and no discernible seams or joints. Hickson recalled being placed on a table while a device resembling a large, unblinking eye scanned his body. He felt no pain but described the sensation as deeply unsettling. Parker, meanwhile, claimed to have regained consciousness during the examination but was too terrified to move or speak. He later said he felt like the beings were communicating telepathically, though no words were spoken. After what felt like an eternity but was likely no more than 20 minutes, the men were suddenly back at the pier. The craft had vanished, and they were left in stunned silence. Both men were trembling and disoriented. Hickson suggested they report the incident, while Parker, deeply shaken, wanted to keep it a secret out of fear they wouldn't be believed. Eventually, they decided to report the encounter to the local sheriff's office. At the station, Sheriff Fred Diamond and his deputies listened skeptically as the men recounted their bizarre story. To test their sincerity, the sheriff left them alone in a room with a hidden recorder, hoping they would reveal it was a hoax. Instead, the recording captured the men speaking in hushed, panicked tones about what they had just experienced. Hickson was heard saying, "They could have killed us. They had control of us," while Parker sobbed quietly in the background. The recording convinced the sheriff that the men genuinely believed what they were saying. Word of the encounter quickly spread, and the Pascagoula abduction became a national sensation. News outlets, UFO investigators, and skeptics descended on the small Mississippi town. Hickson, more composed than Parker, gave detailed interviews, describing the beings and the craft. Parker, however, avoided the spotlight, later admitting he was traumatized and didn't want to relive the experience. The story caught the attention of UFO researchers, who conducted lie detector tests and hypnosis sessions with the men. While skeptics dismissed the incident as a hallucination or fabrication, many believed the men's accounts were too consistent and emotionally charged to be fake. Under hypnosis, Hickson revealed additional details about the craft, including what he believed was a control panel and symbols on the walls. Parker, meanwhile, described seeing what resembled a star map during his examination, though he couldn't recall specifics. This added to speculation that the beings were explorers from another world. For decades, Hickson and Parker stood by their story. Hickson wrote a book detailing the experience and remained a public advocate for the reality of UFO encounters. Parker, who avoided attention for much of his life, eventually opened up in the early 2000s, revealing even more details and saying the memory continued to haunt him. Skeptics argued the case could be explained by sleep paralysis, hallucinations, or even a prank gone too far. However, neither man ever changed their account, and their sincerity left many questioning if the encounter was genuine. The Pascagoula abduction remains one of the most famous UFO cases in history, inspiring books, documentaries, and endless debate. The site of the encounter is now marked with a historical sign, commemorating what some believe was the closest humanity has come to contact with extraterrestrial life. So what really happened to Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker on that October night in 1973? Was it an elaborate hoax, a shared hallucination, or genuine contact with beings from another world? The truth may never be known, but their story continues to fascinate and terrify, standing as one of the most detailed and compelling alien abduction accounts in history. Do you believe the Pascagoula abduction was real, or was it something else? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more incredible mysteries.